I wasn't able to stay with my family because it was too dangerous for me and for them.
There's a lot of things going out there. People are dying.
I lost some of my friends, my American brothers and sisters. I lost them in combat.
In Afghanistan, you don't know what's going to happen next.
It was a really difficult times.
My name is Ellen Smith, and I'm the Rochester chapter head of No One Left Behind. We are a national 501c3 organization that resettles Iraqis and Afghans who worked for the U.S. military and contractors.
My name is Munder. I work for the U.S. military for around 3 years, almost 3 years. I was a combat interpreter. I work with the U.S. Marines. I work with the Army, 3rd Infantry Division, 1st Armored Division, 4th Infantry Division, 1st Cav. My last job was with the U.S. Corps of Engineers, and I was doing with them road clearance, which means clearing the highways from roadside bombs. Sometimes the terrorists were ambushing us, attacking us with all kinds of weapons, RPGs, roadside bombs, heavy machine guns. I had to move 5 times. Eventually, I had to leave Iraq because I got a threatened letter. It was stuck in my my car handle.
It took him 7 years to get to the U.S. after 3 years of faithful and honorable service. And then, even after he was granted his visa legally, he was turned away in Turkey because of the executive order and told he was not allowed to come into this country. He went back to Baghdad, homeless, no place to live. He had sold everything, and he got in touch with No One Left Behind. And it was our team in Washington, D.C. that worked on getting Munther back into the U.S.
My name is Fazil, and I'm from Afghanistan. I asked not showing my face just because I have allowed my family members, my friends, my families back in my country in Afghanistan. And I don't want they get any problem thrown by my face. I started working with U.S. military since 2009. I was started with a car washer for 2 months. Then I get a logistic assistant for 2 years. And in 2011, I was interpreter and I was driver, and I was doing everything, whatever I can, back to my country. My big brother started working on since 2007 with U.S. military supporters. My other 2 brothers, one of them is just get here on 29th of January, and my other brother is still in country. He just interviewed, but I hope I get his visa.
The majority of our guys, it takes 6 or 7 years for them to get to the U.S. It's not that we just let anyone come into the U.S. They have been through multiple security clearances. They go through what we call an extreme vetting to work for the U.S. military. Once they get the job working for the U.S. military, they're questioned every 6 months. They might have to turn in their phones. They might have to have their computer looked at. They may have to go through a lie detector test where they're all hooked up and asked questions. So to work for the military is not easy, and to stay working for the military is not easy. And then the only way that they can come into the U.S. is that they have to have a credible threat against their life. Some of our guys have been in 1 or 2 IED explosions. Others have been attacked and beaten by the Taliban or the Afghan mafia, whatever you want to call them. The fact is they're bad guys, and they don't like us.
When I arrived to JFK, there were lawyers and people waiting for me. I was stuck in JFK for 4 hours and 30 minutes. there were like a volunteer, and she was like in touch with No One Left Behind. She started to call like the congressman, she started to call the mayor, the congressman, called the CBP at JFK, and they released us after 4 hours and 30 minutes. And No One Left Behind arranged for me like transportation from JFK to the hotel. Then they arranged for me another transportation from the hotel to Rochester.
Can you imagine leaving your ancestral home and going to a place that you really know nothing about? I mean, yeah, they've been with soldiers, but they know nothing about America. They really don't know anything about Rochester.
When I leave Afghanistan at first time, I was happy I'm gonna be in a safe place. I arrived with 2 sick kids, 3 people, my wife, my son, and my own self.
We put our families typically with a host family, and that can last anywhere from 2 and upwards of 6 weeks. That has been the longest when there has been a shortage of apartments and we can't find affordable housing. We are working with very narrow margins on housing budgets, and affordable housing is really a key issue. And I will make sure that whatever apartment or place we put them or house, that they will be okay for a year. So we budget out with them for 1 year on how they are going to survive. As long as they stick to that budget, and we are there to make sure that they do, as long as they stick to that budget, they will be okay. Our goal, as part of our organization, is that we do pay for first month's rent and security. We take the family food shopping for their first time until they can get their SNAP benefits. Sometimes our families need help with rent. They may have had a job, the husband might have had a job, and then got laid off through no fault of his own. They can't meet a month's worth of rent. We will step in and help. Absolutely the hardest thing for our guys when they come to this country are jobs.
I had a business diploma with me, which is nothing in here.
Fazl has a degree in business from Kabul University, but when he arrived in Rochester, he was running against that, the job problem. What I frequently hear from employers is that, well, we don't know what standards they were trained under or educated under. We don't know how their credits from Kabul University might transfer into a US degree. Fazl did logistics work. It was his job to get goods from point A to point B and in a military combat zone without them getting stolen by the Taliban. Now that takes real talent, okay? He had to coordinate everything. You need water, Fazl got them water. They need uniforms, Fazl gets them uniforms. They need guns and ammunition, Fazl gets them guns and ammunition, okay? These guys are logistics experts. He entered into a program called OASIS, and he was able to get into an electrician's training program.
I stayed on that program for 3 months. Then I couldn't support my families, what we need. Then I started working on C shift, on Century Mold. With that job I got through No One Left Behind. I was working from 10 p.m. to 7 a.m. and I was going to school since 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. I was really tired because I just only sleep like 2 to 3 hours, and I just only see my son and my wife just for 30 minutes when we get dinner. And I was really tired on that time, but I got my certificate from OASIS.
He is on his route to independence. Within 3 days of graduating from the course, he had a job. And we are just incredibly proud of Fazl and his hard work. One of the other very important things that we do for our families is we offer cars. We have to get these guys out to jobs. And while the city struggles and tries to get van pools and car pools, the bottom line is the quickest way to lift these families up and out of a poverty, or not even let them start into a poverty cycle, is to get them a car. So what we do is that they have to go through their permit test, and we have volunteers help drive with them while they have their permit. And then after they pass their road test, we start to fundraise for a car for them.
That car was really important for me. If I didn't get that car from No One Left Behind, I couldn't get this electrical job for me. That car changed my life.
We all fall in love with our families. These are people near and dear to our hearts. And let's face it, they have saved lives of our loved ones. We have military volunteers in our organization. They have sons or daughters who work in the military. They might be in the National Guard. They might have come back. They might have died. But each one of these people understands the important role of these interpreters.
When I came to Rochester, I didn't know how is the weather and how is here. But when I stay here for a month, I like it here. Because the weather is same like my country weather, and the people are too nice, and everyone is just same as their family members.
Since I've been in Iraq, I was working with American soldiers, and I work with the USAID, so American civilians and American soldiers. So through them, I loved America. And when I was a kid, I liked America through movies, music. But when I came here, and I was not surprised, but I was overwhelmed with the American people generosity and supporting. I was just this is the place that I want my kids to be raised, and I want to give them the opportunity to be here and to study and to a better future for them. So
one of the things that I've learned from every family, every man who served and comes here to the U.S. is that they want for their children the same things that we want for our children. They want their sons and daughters to be educated. They want their wives to be able to go shopping and not have to worry about being attacked. They want their daughters educated. One of our recent guys came in, 2 beautiful daughters. He stayed at my farm, and he said, I want my daughter to go to college. And it just made my heart swell, because I know that that little girl will go to college. And quite honestly, I can't wait for the day that she's walking on that stage and getting that diploma. I want to be there. I hope I can be there to see that.